Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm mad because the Restream is not letting my TikTok or my Instagram connect right now. It's like, what am I paying for? Every time I
Yeah,
pay
well,
for
you
a
know
service,
they charge more for the
well,
more services. Like they give you 3
mhm,
with one fee,
right.
and then if you want 5, it's a different fee.
No, I
Just like
got
they
it.
do
I
levels.
paid for all of them, but then it makes you do something different with Instagram. You got to go on the computer and
Oh,
get a Restream link and all that stuff, and then bring it back and put it on that.
oh
And now
yeah.
TikTok's got a whole thing. They're making you apply to be able to go live from the PC. TikTok always doing
Mm.
something of their own.
It's
But
like they
yeah,
don't
but
want
we're
to share.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
Like, do you want us here or not? Like,
That's what
we
I'm
spending all our
wondering.
money.
Mhm.
We want to spend all the
I
money on
stopped
here.
using Restream.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm about to.
Yeah,
Like, what am I paying for? I could have just.
because I had it connected to my
What did you start using?
Facebook.
What are you using?
Nothing, just one.
Nothing
I'm
now.
just
See?
on one.
I
So
gotta have all
I was using Restream just so I could have the multiple simultaneously.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Because I had 5 phones at one point, and now I got the phone and the tablet, and I'm trying to get everything on those 2.
yeah,
So much, so much.
Does it help increase your followers?
I mean, I don't really pay attention to that, but it's
Okay.
I got 200,000 across all the platforms, but they're
Okay.
not all on one platform.
yeah.
They're
I
spread,
like it
some
for
people
the
use one and not
convenience
the other.
Mm-hmm.
of putting
Right. On
of streaming
everything.
on all
Hey,
at once
y'all.
simultaneously. You know?
Exactly. So I got people on Instagram that's not on Facebook and all that stuff. So yes, y'all are watching behind the scenes with the Christina Lockett show. We are about to be live on air. Check out behind the scenes. That's the best way for them to tune in the app or website.
Yeah, clradio.live.
CLradio.live. That's where you can listen to the real show. So you hear sexy radio
Get ready to be blessed by an experience.
The mics are hot.
No. It's the Christina Lockett Radio Show.
It's inspiration for your soul. You're listening to the Christina Lockett Show.
Welcome everybody. This is a Monday. And I know you're like, Monday, Christina's on the air. Yes, I am on the air on this Monday because this is a special edition of the Christina Lockett Show. And you have to stay connected for those special editions. The Christina Lockett Show is live every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. But guess what? When the special guests are in the city of Houston, we might just have a random show, a special edition. So the best way to know when that is going to happen is you have to stay connected. Follow us on all social media platforms. Subscribe to our email list so you can have our blast. So you'll know, like, hey, they got a special edition coming on. But you know what? This special edition is on the Monday, but this Monday time slot is actually reserved for my guest co-host. She is coming to CL Radio. I want y'all to welcome Dr. U. Dr. Eula Childs is coming to CL Radio. Dr. U, tell everybody what can they expect.
Well, with the radio show, I'm thinking I have not solidified a name, but I'm thinking something along the lines of Ignite because, you know, my whole theme is igniting the spark.
Mm-hmm.
And so people's spark they can expect for their spark to be ignited just through ministry, through empowerment, through empowering conversations. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so for the listening audience that's still trying to get to know you a little bit better, what can you say about yourself?
Well, I am an educator. I am a minister. I am a family person. I've been married now, be 23 years. And so I'm just all things empowerment. I just believe in seeing the gift and seeing, the talents in people and just really, really empowering them to just be everything that God has called them to be. So I'm a fun, energetic
Yes.
person. So that's who I am.
And she has a great sense of humor and she's so articulate. Y'all, make sure you follow her on all social media platforms. And you definitely want to follow her so she will let you know when her show is getting ready to drop. Okay?
Yes.
Dr. U is in the building. And of course, she'll be dropping in on the Christina Lockett Show, guest co-hosting as she prepares for her upcoming broadcast.
Yes.
So with that being said, we always start the radio broadcast off with prayer. And so I'm going to ask the woman of God to just lead us in prayer and whatever is on your heart today. Amen.
Father, we thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for this time. We thank you, Lord, for our guests that are here on today. We just pray, Lord, that you will speak to our hearts and speak to our listening audience. May they be empowered. May they be strengthened by the testimonies. May they be strengthened by what's happening here on today. And we just thank you for this Christina Lockett show. We pray that you continue to bless the work of her hands and bless her radio show and all of her endeavors and heart's desire. In Jesus' name.
In
Amen.
Jesus' name, amen, amen. For you, those of you who are not familiar, there was an incident that happened in my classroom in late August, and it is causing me to have an acute cough. One of my students sprayed mace, and so I was adversely affected by it, and I actually just got off of medical leave. Today was my first day back. Today was a pretty good day. But yeah, so when y'all hear me kind of going in and out, it's because I'm determined no matter what, the enemy can't steal my voice,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
This is what I have been anointed to do, so this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I said, hey, it's a special edition. It's a special edition of the Christina Lockett Show. Okay, Christina, what's going on? Why is it a special edition? First off, let me say, Joyce White is a part of my journey, my radio journey, and we'll talk more about it later in the show. But she is my original mentor. She would tune in on my first shows, give me tips, give me cues, saying, Christina, you did this well. Do a little more of that. I mean, she was brutally honest, and I love her for that. And it is actually because of her radio broadcast, Faith Walks, that I actually entered into radio. And we'll tell you more about that later. So I'm excited that not only is Joyce here, but Joyce introduced me to Vitel, right? All I can say is Us Three Productions is in the building, and they're presenting the 9 Lives World Tour. So they're in the city of Houston. So I was like, it's not a normal show, but we're going to have a show. So with that being said, I want you guys to welcome Vitel and Joyce.
Yeah. Thank you.
So glad to have you in the city. And let me say, Joyce, this is your first time in Houston. Joyce has never been to Houston. Girl, how you been around so many years and never been to Houston?
Wow.
I have no idea, but I'm so happy to be here.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad that you introduced me to this wonderful woman of God. I mean, she's an author. She's a mother. She's doing some dynamic things with the world tour. Can we just start off talking about how you have entered into ministry in this way, a big way?
Man, it's really hard to explain or even sum up because, yeah, I've been an actress for most of my life, but, it just to merge the ministry and the calling that God has on my life to help people, specifically from healing from trauma, from topics such as homelessness, domestic violence, things that I have been through myself, understanding why God allowed me to go through these things and that it's all to help someone else. And so now being able to use my gifts and talents to portray that message and we're on a mission.
Yes.
Like it's really hard to explain it. It's a movement, and it's one of those things like you just got to be there. You just got to see it for yourself because it's definitely making an impact, and we're changing the world.
Well, like I said, you actually wear many titles. So would you say that acting started out first?
Yeah, acting was first.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then that led to the book?
Well, technically modeling was first because modeling was something that I never really wanted to do. I've always been a tomboy, so I didn't really want to do modeling.
Okay.
So I had to kind of convince myself that modeling is just acting in still life.
Okay.
So I was still acting, and so they kind of go hand in hand. But yeah, and then the book didn't come. So I think I was a director before the book came. It's really hard to keep up with all this. Now I think about it, I can't even put it in chronological order. But yeah, so the book didn't come so recently during the pandemic, actually, is when the book came. And I think a lot of people can say that because that pandemic brought a lot out of people.
But it was a good thing.
Yeah.
A lot of things were birthed in a great way. Exactly. Can you tell us about the book?
Yes, absolutely. So it's called I Am, a Poetic Ensemble, and it is available on Amazon if anyone's interested in checking it out. But it is a memoir of my life. It's written in poetry format. And it is also a self-help book. So anybody who can relate to the topics that I speak on, and as I'm telling my testimony through poetry, if you find yourself relating, you can go to the back of the book and you got some self-help there to either help you get out of certain situations or to cope with certain situations. It depends on what it is you're going through, but I feel like there's something in there for everyone.
I love that. I love that. Well, I mean, you're here, you promoting everything, of course, but specifically in Houston for the 9 Lives World Tour.
Yes.
Tell us, what does that represent?
So the 9 Lives World Tour is a one-woman show that was actually birthed from the book. It is the book on stage. And again, all during the pandemic, this happened because I had always intended on turning every book that I write into a movie, a play, a show. And, I wanted it to be an experience. I couldn't have it just be a regular movie or just be a play. It's got to be like all of that put together, something that nobody's done. And so I'd started doing that. And during the pandemic, it shut everything down. So I wasn't able to hire the cast and the crew and all of the things, but I still needed to put a show with this book so people could see what they're reading. And so that's how I decided I'm gonna just play all the characters, including I got these 9 characters that you see me playing on the forefront, but then behind the scenes, I'm also the camera person, the makeup artist, the crew, all of the stuff that I was doing during the pandemic because we didn't really have a choice. So I played a lot more than 9 roles in it, but each one of the 9 characters that you see represents a different either trauma that I've gone through or a different situation or phase in my life, you could say. So you have homelessness, you have domestic violence, you have divorce, you have human trafficking, you have depression and suicide. All of these things are different parts of me. And I use different characters and different, completely different people, not based on any real life person, just straight from the heavens. Just the ideas just came to me and these characters were created. And they each told a different part of the story as if this is their story. So one will step forward, this is my story. The next one, this is my story. But lo and behold, it's all my story. I've been through all of these things.
Yes.
So it took this many different characters to tell each of the stories.
Well, I want to say definitely I appreciate you for being open and honest and transparent. That says a lot about who you are and that you are healed, that you can share your story in this way. Across multiple platforms. But as you were talking and sharing how this all came about, I think it's very positive and inspirational for our listening audience that's tuned in right now, because I know God has placed something in their spirit, like some idea, and they probably thinking, well, I don't have the team, or I don't have the makeup artist, or I don't have the director. Do it. If God say do it, do it. If you have to do it all, do it. I'm so excited. In the studio, we have Micah here, and I was like, Micah, can you get a couple of pictures here and there? And he's helping us. But guess what? When Micah is not here, I take that tripod. I put the timer on. I'm like, here, just stand right here. The timer's going. It's like you have to have such a determination in your heart that this is what God has said to do. So just listening to you, I'm like, I hope our listening audience is receiving this.
Yes.
You know, because this is what you're able to do. But somebody, I just know it. I know someone's listening, thinking they don't have everything that they think they need, but everything you need is already in you.
Absolutely.
You
That's
know?
one of my biggest messages as I'm traveling with this show, like just living by example and really proving that to people. Like,
Mhm.
so often you see celebrities, you see people out there doing things and you aspire to be like that, but you let, oh, I don't have enough money, or
Yes.
like you said, I don't have a big enough team and things like that to slow you down or stop you. And I would have been a lot further along if I hadn't have, I did that for a while.
Yes.
And so I had to learn the hard way, like, I can't keep doing that. And as soon
Mhm.
as I started moving forward and what I knew God was calling me to do, then everything else started falling into place.
Yes.
So now the team is growing and now the money's not an issue. It's like I'm to the point where when people say, you know, well, what's your budget, or different things come up when it comes to money, I'm like, girl, talk to God about that, because that's, you know, we got a saying at Us Three Productions, if it's God's will, it's God's bill. So I don't worry about no bills and stuff no more.
All
So
right.
that's none of my business. So I just show up and do what God's called me to do. And that was not an easy place to get to. It took
Yes.
some years to get to this point. But I definitely encourage people now to do it faster than I did, because all we have is time, like, and life is too short. It doesn't seem like we have enough of it, you know.
Yes.
And so if we live to be 100 years old, I want to make every one of them 100 years count, you know.
Right.
So
Make it
I
count.
definitely encourage people to just go for it and don't hesitate because of whatever you think you're lacking. Because definitely, if God called you to it, He's gonna see you through.
He's gonna see you through. He will provide. Well, listen, I'm like a kid in the candy store because Joyce White is in the building, y'all. I got so excited. I was like, oh, I had to run, give her a hug. It just means so much to me, for my personal journey to have Joyce here. When I released my first book and I was promoting the book, and I traveled to Georgia. Joyce wasn't even close by, but she drove all the way to come and visit with me. That was my first book signing that wasn't in Houston, and Joyce was there. The first time that I won with the Spin Awards, all these awards, Joyce was there. Joyce White, girl, you just don't know how excited I am to have you in Houston at my radio station. But Joyce is an actress. She's a model and media personality, and so much more. Joyce, how did you get involved with the Nine Lives of World Tour?
Well,
She
Vitel
about to
doesn't
cry,
know this.
y'all.
Yeah, I'm just
I can see it coming.
Vitel doesn't know this, but I have been following Us Three Productions. From time to time, she would look for more team members. And I remember the first time that I applied, God said it must not have been that time for me.
Mhm.
But lo and behold, last year I applied again. This time, as you can see,
Uh-huh.
I made it in.
Okay, it was the
It
time.
was the time. And I am just, I mean, I'm not going to cry, I promise. But she
cry with you.
is so amazing.
Okay.
She has helped me in so many ways. Going to be transparent. I've been a victim of domestic abuse more than once.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, you all have to see this 9 Live show. Because it's really deep, and it is going to open up some wounds, but that's okay.
It's part of the healing.
It's part of the healing.
Yes.
And this show is helping me to heal.
Amen.
I first saw it in September of last year, and we had a moment.
Yeah.
She caught me.
That's when I knew.
Yeah, we had a moment. But I mean, like I said, this is a wonderful show. Everyone has to see it. We're only going to 9 cities, but guess what? We can come to your city. Just
Okay.
let us know.
Okay,
Just
so
let us know.
so people can reach out to you. Okay, all
Mhm.
right. Should they reach out to Us Three Productions, or where should they go?
Yep, you can reach us at heis3productions@gmail.
Okay.
Or of course, find us on social media. Vitel, VITELLE.net is my website right now. That's the best way to reach us in any format that you'd like. We even have a text subscription number. You can text us 770-626-5075. We try to make ourselves very reachable because we want to be available for where we're needed. And even prior to deciding a 9-city tour, we were taking requests to take this show to different places. So we'd already done it more than 20 times before we committed to these are the next 9 cities. But yeah, so we're still open to requests.
All right. Well, our co-host is here, and I can't let my excitement take over. I gotta let my co-host ask some questions and share her thoughts and comments about the 9 Lives tour.
So just thinking about what you were saying about the book, and it's so inspirational as it relates to the book and really turning it into a a play, or just putting it out on film. I think that's really, really awesome. Did you kind of script it yourself, or did you have someone to help you with scripting from the book into the poetry and things?
That is a great question, and the best way I can answer is this right here. God did that because first of all, I didn't really want to. That's how I usually know it's a God thing, because when it comes into my head, it feels too big for me.
Mm-hmm.
It feels too intimidating. That's too much work. That's too much commitment. I don't want to do it. Get somebody else to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first response usually. But God will just keep pulling on me, and just it's written in my head already.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, it's in my head. I got to get this out, and I just got to make the time to sit here and just type it out.
Yeah.
And so once I did that, the whole process was like me pulling all my wigs and outfits out the closet and just throwing them on the bed. It's like throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. That's how it felt.
Yeah.
I just threw all the wigs and all the clothes, and then I got sticky notes, and I just had to separate. The events were separating in my head. It was it's so hard to describe how that process happens, but it was I know it was God, because it was magical. That's a great word to describe it too. It was just magical and miraculous, and just to see it all come together. And so by the time I get from that spaghetti on the wall to editing, and I did all the editing, I did everything, and then to see it, I was like, whoa, it didn't feel like I just did that. And then it still doesn't feel like I have much to do with it for real,
Yeah.
So I just kind of step back and see it every time, and that's how I know it's God. So you can't, you hear people say you can't make this stuff up when it comes to real life stuff.
Yes.
Because that's what it is, literally my real life on the stage. I didn't have to write it, So I just lived it.
Wow. And even looking at the flyer, this is amazing.
Dr. You, don't you look at the flyer thinking it's her, but it's it's really all these different people.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though it's her, but I'm thinking if it comes across on the flyer like that, can you imagine what the production is like?
Oh,
no, listen, I have people all the time, after the show, I've had people ask me, was I in the show?
Wow.
I'm like, dang, I must have did a good job. or they'll ask me so all of those was you? They're still a little confused, I have to explain. But yeah, the accents change, the body, the posture, the body movements. That's why I say, when I've watched it so many times myself, and obviously edited, did all the stuff, but I see something new every time. And it feel like I'm watching somebody else. I'm
That's
like, dang,
wonderful.
she said that, she did that.
Yeah, this is definitely, I definitely applaud you, because when I'm looking at this, you can kind of, in a way, predict, she was this, or she was that, but
Right.
Or how they might act.
Yeah, but it's something altogether great just to see that and know, that God gave you that vision to do that is so inspiring.
I had the opportunity to play 2 characters in one play, and I remember someone asked me, "You was both characters?" Well, girl, you talking about 9?
Right.
I was overwhelmed with 2.
Right.
Memorization.
Yes.
That's another thing. I don't feel like I ever really memorized this stuff. I feel like the week of a show, this is how it is on this tour right here. I have to break this down so people understand, because Joyce she's right here with me. She be keeping up. We do more in a week than it takes people a year to plan these things a lot of times. And we do it in a week.
Wow.
So we come into a city that we've never been. We have to connect with people like yourselves and get them to help us connect with other people and other people and other people, so that it just grows very quickly and the word spreads very quickly. We're out here passing out flyers. We're connecting with organizations to get them to join forces with us that already, minister in these areas as well. We're reaching out to churches and church groups and schools and just everything to make all of this happen in a week. When do I have time to rehearse? I do not. So literally by the time we get to show day, and not to mention the whole experience, like we have gift bags for our guests. So we put the gift bags together. We, we drive down here because we got all the stuff to bring with us that's part of the show. It's just a whole thing.
Yeah.
So by the time we get to the show, we're like, ain't nobody have time to rehearse. We be like, God, you're gonna have to show up because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And the experience is different every time, but it's amazing every time, and it keeps getting better every city. So we're driving to Texas like, ooh, Joyce, you feel that? God's gonna do something. Like you have these moments where you could just feel the shift taking place as we're transitioning into different cities, and it's like, wow, like Washington was definitely an encounter. Like I literally had an encounter with God. That is the best way I can describe it. Yeah. And if we didn't know or believe and walk in faith by then, it took it to a whole nother level. Mm-hmm. And so now we're like, ooh, what Texas gonna do? It's like an exciting fear.
Yes.
Like that fear of God fear where it's like, we ready, but we nervous at the same time, but we gonna do it, So yeah, this whole thing is just.
This is exciting. So are tickets still available?
Yes, there are some tickets still available. Yep. So, and we're pushing, we're encouraging groups to come out, church groups, girl group, get your friends together. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
How can people purchase tickets?
Yes, it is available on Eventbrite. And of course, Vitel.net is a great way to connect as well as get tickets through there. So you can go to VITELLE.net, Vitel.net, connect with us, get your tickets. The link to Eventbrite is all over all of our social media and everything as well. We have 4 cities to go, including Houston.
Okay.
So we have Houston, then Nashville, then Boston, then Bowling Green.
Where's Bowling Green?
Right. Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky.
Yes, Kentucky.
Y'all driving to Kentucky?
Yes, and that's going to be the grand finale.
Ooh.
That's going to be the grand finale. That is going to be the first time my sisters who experienced their own version of my experiences are going to see the show for the first time at that one. So we're going to need some extra therapists on deck. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there now. Some extra pastors in the room because we already know, like, ooh, the countdown is on to Bowling Green. No, but I do have family there. Though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you choose your cities?
That's another question too. That it's funny. I do all these interviews and I don't know how to answer half the questions except to blame it on God because, like, the way it just all kind of fell together. Because I'm driving to Texas, I'm like, dang, this is the longest road trip I've ever taken. Why did we choose Houston again? Like, so, it was just like some of the cities I know we had teammates there and stuff. But then this one, it was like, we ain't even got no team members here yet, But the crazy thing is when we get to the city, we usually find out why we're there when we get there. And we be like, oh, that's why God brought us here. We've gotten to the point now where it just comes second nature to just go unknowing, we don't know why we going there specifically or what God's gonna do there, but we know He about to do something, about to show out. And so it's such a faith walk. And then to get there, and like with Orlando, I was like, I ain't got no fans in Orlando. I've never promoted it. I don't know nobody there. We get there and this lady's like, I've been waiting 3 years for you to bring this show to Orlando. I'm like, what? Like, who are you again? It was amazing, like, to see that happening everywhere. So people are following, people are watching. And that's why I tell people so often, like, it is so important that we show up because like we were talking about earlier, like whether you feel prepared or not, somebody is watching you because you might not feel that prepared, but you're more prepared than somebody else. And so you're still kind of paving the way for those following you. So it's so important just to show up, and you never know who is waiting for you to get there.
This is good, y'all. Let me take a look on our social media because people are talking. Your assistant is listening and watching. Nisa, is that how you pronounce it? Mike Lanson from Baldwin, Louisiana. Pastor Kermit Childs. Dr. Yu's husband. I think I missed some of the other ones. It was going by pretty fast, but thank you guys for watching us on social media. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back with a little bit more. So y'all stay tuned. This is a special edition of the Christina Lockett Show. And you know what? I'm going to play Marvin Sapp, The Best of Me. Y'all stay tuned. We're coming right back. Hey, everybody.
All right.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're live.
All guys, so my battery is not gonna last much longer on this one.
You need to plug
You don't
it
have
in.
you have iPhone, like not
You,
the
did you
C
have the
port,
iPhone?
the lightning cable.
Oh.
I was about to say y'all gonna have to jump over to a different live, but I got 3 different platforms live on this one. So hello everyone tuning in behind the scenes. Thank you. Janita's in the house. Sky's in the house. The team is
So,
coming through. Yeah.
will it fit right here?
Demario was on here on Instagram a minute ago. Seeing him on here. Y'all see we out here working. First full day. Thank you so much. First full day in Houston. I have to change our view a little bit in order to plug it up and keep it going. Let's see. We're gonna plug it up and then we're gonna figure out the view. You want the juice? Let's wait on that for a minute. We'll get that on the way out. You and this sugar, girl.
I'm trying to break it from you.
Right. And some water. Drink some
Dr.
water.
You, when we come back, I'm gonna get you to announce the show and announce her book. That's good.
Okay, I'm plugged in now, so I won't lose y'all. We good. Are y'all enjoying behind the scenes? I know my Instagram a minute ago was saying poor connection, and it was.
Did you log into our Wi-Fi?
I did not.
Oh, it's over here.
Well, I mean,
It's too late now, huh?
Oh,
Hey, if y'all miss it, I will post the replay from her page. Movement now from now. Remember when you gave me access to this? Oh, thank you. I can't tell who that is, but God bless you. Thank you.
Okay.
I think he's a football player or something.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate your testimony.
Y'all got everything? Y'all ready? Okay. All right, we're about to be live. Mike's hot. Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to a special edition of the Christina Lockett Show on CL Radio. Remember, you can tune in every day, all day. We have great gospel music, great programming. The Christina Lockett Show is on Wednesdays. Lady Kazee, that's me, is live on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Coming very soon is Dr. U with some things that are going to ignite your spirit. Who we have on Thursday? Thursday's Larry W. Robinson. Friday is Real Talk with Pastor Christopher Stevens. Saturday is our big day. We start off with Tony D, New Orleans Profile, Larry W. Robinson Show. I'm sorry, DSM Morning Show comes on before everybody. They come on in at 7 a.m. They're live in the studio. And then we round it off with Wages to Profits. So we have a great program, and we have room for you because the Sunday is open. Saturday evening is open. So listen, if you want to expand your platform and tap into our audience, come on over to CL Radio. We're going to make room for you. But Dr. U, we are here today for this special edition. Tell us why we're here today.
We are here today because we have in the studio none other than Vitel, who is here, and
Yes.
she is promoting her 9 Lives World Tour.
Ooh, yes.
And it's happening April 26th at 3 p.m. So we're so excited. And then we also want to promote her book, which the 9 Lives Tour is really birthed from her book. And the book is titled I Am, a Poetic Ensemble. And so she can give us more information about that. But that's who's in the studio on today, along with Christina's mentor.
Can
Miss
we say
Joyce.
that?
Yes, they're in the studio with us on today. So we're so excited to have them. Vitel, if you want to tell them a little bit more about your book, you can.
Yeah, so I mean, is there anything specific that y'all want to know? It's always so hard to just narrow it down and sum it up. It's like a whole lifetime. I will tell you this. I Am a Poetic Ensemble. It is an introduction to so many things to come. We've really been focusing on this book and this show for the last several years. And that is because I'm all about quality over quantity. I'm not one of the people that just got to keep putting stuff out just to say I got a whole bunch of stuff published.
Right.
We have a lot of stuff coming, and we want people to really follow the movement, and the movement starts with this book. So I like to describe it as a sampler platter of things to come. So for every poem that you read in I Am a Poetic Ensemble, there's going to be a movie for that one poem. There's going to be a book for that one poem. Like, it's going to elaborate and expand to the point you just got to follow it. So now's the time to get on board and really see what's going on, for you have to go back and rewind and start catching up, because you have to work hard to keep up when this rocket ship takes off. And that's what's happening right now. That's what the Nine Lives World Tour, kicking off 2025 with that, is really segueing into that. So it's huge.
So the best way is for them to follow you for that information.
Absolutely. Yep. If you're following me on your social media platforms, and you can text to subscribe. Again, that number is 770-626-5075. We encourage text subscribers to just stay in the loop with what we've got going on, because it is a whole movement, and every single show, every movie, play, book, music is coming as well. Everything that we produce at Us Three Productions is a real life testimony from someone, whether it's me or one of my other team members, and it's all about healing and changing lives. So we're purposeful. We're always going to have that purposeful message. We're not going to take a detour. We haven't yet, and we don't plan to, for any amount of money that we could be offered to do something different. We know what God has called us to do, so that is not going to happen. So we are, on a mission, and this is definitely a God thing. So
You know what? I am so excited and grateful that you're using multimedia platforms for this message, because I do believe that in this hour, God is calling us in those arenas.
Oh, yeah.
We often fuss and fight. Why they have this show on? That movie, it could have been better if they didn't do this, or even with radio. Like, I'm so tired of hearing this on the radio, or it just seems like they're always fussing, arguing, or it's gossip, or it's the latest hot topic, But how can we continue to complain about that if we're not doing anything?
Right.
God has called us to more than just the church,
Mm-hmm.
Because the church is the people that's already saved.
Yeah.
Right.
The people outside of the church, that's who we're supposed to be reaching.
Yes.
How are we going to reach them? We have to write the music we want to hear. We have to write the plays that we want to see, the movies, the books, everything. And I believe that that's an area that God has called me to, but also for me to promote others in that way.
Yeah.
That's why here at CL Radio, we support independent artists. The national artists, we thank God for what God has done for them, but everybody already knows them.
Mm-hmm.
They could drop a single today and it's all over major platforms.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody may be local in your city and no one knows about them. They're anointed as well.
Yeah.
They have a message as well. So that's what we love to do here at CL Radio. Listen, I'm excited to meet you. I'm excited that Joyce introduced me to you, and the fact that she's on your team is dynamic. She's definitely a loyal person.
Yes.
And humble, and she can hear from God.
Yes.
So Joyce, what has this experience been like working with us three?
It's been, like I said, amazing. I say it was God ordained, because her mission, my mission, they just coincided with each other. And I'm just so grateful that, God did bring us together. And then, Us Three Productions and the whole team that we have are, they're excellent, and they operate in excellence. And that's another thing I love about Vitel. She operates in excellence. And this message, this movement, it has to be seen, heard, not just in the United States, but beyond the United States.
Yes.
Let's leave and go to different countries.
Yes.
And get this message out. Because you're right, God is trying to reach people. And how can he reach people? He needs us, the vessels, to reach these people.
He works through us. How important is it to be able to connect with someone and help them push their vision, even when you can see that your journey and your testimony actually coincides, right?
Yeah.
You know, how important is it for us to do that? Because I find that a lot of times people are really doing some major things
Mhm.
that they could be doing so much more if they just had a few more people that would connect with them and
Right.
push them. You know, how important is it to help someone else?
It's very important to continue to help one another. I mean, that's what God calls us to do, to help each other.
Right.
And, you know, we're all living in this fast paced society, and a lot of people are trying to be how do they say that word? They're trying to be selfish. One of my missions is let's all become selfless
Yes.
and get out there and just help one another, love one another genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I genuinely love this.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And every time we get together, we're always having crying sessions. It's like our spirits connected in DC, in Washington, DC in particular.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a move from God in Washington, DC.
That's good. That's good. Dr. Yu, I mean, I know you've done so much and you put on, different programs and conferences and things like that. But you've been in the Christian community, gospel community for a long time as well. And so don't you see that lack of support that I'm talking about?
Yeah, and I really like what Joyce said, as it relates to being, selfless. Sometimes, we, are just in a society where people want to gatekeep, and not really want to release information or help someone else. But, us helping each other doesn't take away from what I have going on. As a matter of fact, that collaboration, we help each other.
Yes.
Because you may have something that I need, I may have something that you need. Our strengths, where we're, our gifts, they're different, and it's for a reason. Because we serve such a great God.
Yes.
And we need each other.
Yes.
So I love, what you're saying, and it does take a team. That's the reason why, in ministry, I stopped doing a lot of things because it really does, take a team of people to make things happen.
Yes.
And, Vitel has the vision, because God has given that to her. But what would the vision be without runners?
Yes.
Without people that are supporting the vision, people that can bring their gifts, their talent, their treasure and time to help with that. So I think it's really, really important, that when you have a vision, that you have the right people. You don't, like Mike Murdoch say, you don't need everybody to like.
Just need the right people.
Just need the right ones.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, you know what? I just pray that this interview will really help others decide to go ahead and move forward with the things God has called them to do. That vision may be big because I have the same, things happen to me. It's so big, and I'm like, God, how am I gonna break this down in little pieces to make it happen? But when the dream is that big and the vision is that big, you have no choice but to have faith in God.
But I like what Vitel said about the book, and how, there are so many different components to it. She loves, quality over quantity.
Yes.
So it's not like I gotta have 40 books.
Right.
But I can take this, right, and I can break it down. It could become, a poetic ensemble. It could become a world tour. It could become music.
Yes.
It could become a play. You could take one thing, right, and produce so much.
God.
I am so inspired.
Yes, God is good. It was meant for you to be here today.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Well, ladies, again, this is a special edition. I'm so glad to have you here. Last words, thoughts, and comments, Vitel.
Man, is it almost over? I don't want it to be over. No, this has been amazing. Oh gosh, I don't even know how to sum it up. I think there's definitely been a running theme just to encourage those out there who just feel like I don't have it in me, or I lack this or lack that. Like everything, it's all about mindset. So just understanding that God would not have asked you to do it if he didn't know you had everything that you need. So you just got to tell yourself sometimes, what do they say, fake it till you make it. You got to remind yourself, even if you don't feel like it or believe it at that moment, like, okay, God called me to do this, so I have everything I need. I am enough. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing to remember, and just starting to move forward in it. And yeah, when God called you to it, it's going to all start lining up and getting into position. And this just hit my spirit. I don't know who it's for, so I'm gonna just say it. But you have to not be afraid to lose things and people either. Like it's a process. So a lot of times when God calls you to something bigger, sometimes some of the not so big things or things that are not necessarily part of that bigger picture will drop off. And that might mean people sometimes that you don't want to lose. It might mean things that you don't want to lose. Prime example, I just totaled my car not too long ago. Nobody wants to go through that, but did I get my dream car out of it? Yes, I did.
All right.
So that would not have happened had I not been willing to go through the process. And even in the midst of that difficult process, I was able to bless so many people just in going live and them seeing that how I'm handling a tough situation, because life be life and it's going to keep doing that. But it's how you handle it, how you respond to it, and what you choose to do with whatever you're given, whatever that is and whatever that looks like, good or bad. And then just being willing to adjust and let things and people sometimes fall off and say, okay, God, you got it, not my will, but yours be done. So that's where I'm at in life. And I definitely encourage people to work your way to that point, and practice gets you there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Joyce, last words, thoughts, and comments.
Wow. Again, this is another reason why I believe God has paired us together, because everything that she's gone through, the way that she has persevered through it, is an inspiration to me, and it's helping me overcome issues and things that I'm faced with. You were saying, I had my show for 8 years, the Faith Walker Joyce White Show, but I became known as the Faith Walker, and now the Faith Walker has been united with the wonderful actress, humanitarian, author, and director of the 9 Live show.
And I didn't even know this about her, by the way. I'm over here like, what? I'm gonna get you in the car. You ain't tell me all this.
Yes, Joyce is awesome.
That's amazing. Faith Walker.
Joyce, I have to publicly tell you, just thank you for everything you've done for me, for the seeds that you sowed into my life. I can't thank you enough. Showing up when nobody else was there, you was there. And I appreciate you.
Oh, see, now she's going to have me cry.
Where the tissues at? That's it. I give up.
It's just the God in me. That's all I can say.
Yes. Dr. Yu, thank you for guest co-hosting today. That radio personality gift is being stirred up.
Yes.
It's being stirred up. I can't wait to see what God is going to do next.
I'm excited.
I
am. I'm excited. So I've had so many different things in my heart, in my spirit to do for years. I talked to you about this years ago. I think my struggle has been with, you get started and then you fall off, the inconsistency. And so what I said to myself this year was that I needed to put myself in a position, because I'm the type of person where if I say that I'm going to do something, that I'm going to show up, my word is my bond. Like, I don't want nobody to ever say that Eulalia didn't do what she said, that she was going to, don't say nothing bad about my name.
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? I need something that's going to hold me accountable and force me to be consistent.
That's good.
And I do believe that, everybody, there are some people, they just got it. They're just consistent. And then there are some of us who struggle, right? And so we have to put ourselves in a position to hold ourselves accountable where others, because I don't want anybody to say, well, where was you lately on Monday? And so I think that this is just good for me in this season. I really do.
Yes.
I do. So thank you.
Look, that helped me up here. Let me tell you something. I may look consistent because people have been seeing me do this for years, but it is a struggle. It's not something that comes naturally. And I definitely understand that, getting on and off the bandwagon, but that's the part you do consistently, is that you do keep getting back on. Even when we fall off, we don't fall off, but we keep consistently getting back on. And then as you develop a team and people around you that, like you said, hold you accountable. That's what's making me go this hard, harder than I ever have, because now it's not just about me. I got a team depending on me, and then they got families they got to feed, and then it's like there's a lot more pressure, but it's also holding me more accountable to say I have to show up now. Like I can't not.
That's awesome.
Y'all, you know what's funny?
We showing up.
The first time that I missed a show, like I went years without missing a show. My show used to be on Tuesdays. And the first time that I missed the show, guess who hosted my show? Joyce. It was coming from, I went to the Stellar Awards in Las Vegas, right? And even when I got off that airplane, I called in. I'm like, hey, y'all.
Yeah.
Joyce was hosting my show. So the first show that I ever missed, Joyce hosted my show. Because the show must go on.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about the message. And Joyce hosted my show. But I got off that airplane. As soon as your phones come back on, I called in. I was like, hey, everybody. And that was a high-rated show. I'm like, Joyce, you need to host my show more often. No, it was good. I just thank God for her. She has been a blessing for a very long time in my life. And it just means so much to me. So, I'm going to take my picture that I took with you and put it right on the wall. I'm actually going to get some frames for those pictures, and I'm going to put Vitel on there. So I'm like, I know her, got to put you on the wall. But thank you, ladies, for coming. Just to let everyone know, there are tickets still available. But I know you're going to have to come back to Houston. Yeah. And even that space is too small to contain what y'all getting ready to do.
Exactly.
So I had told Joyce, I was
saying
like,
that.
Joyce, why y'all didn't tell me? I could have got y'all a venue. But it's okay.
Yeah.
The word needs to go out. So when you come back, it'll be a bigger venue because the word is going to go out. One thing about the city of Houston, they do talk. They were like, man, y'all missed it. Y'all should have saw this and all that kind of stuff. So definitely, I already know y'all coming
We
back.
can tell, and also the tickets are selling like quicker because we just got here yesterday.
Right.
So I can tell already that the tickets are selling quicker than normal because we haven't really gotten out there, hit the streets and stuff as much yet. Like this is our first day here, so y'all better hurry up. That's all I can say because y'all are spreading the word, and I know they're gonna sell out quickly.
And we'll keep posting it. I'll share it. I think I did share it to you, the poster. I'll make sure you get it.
I think it's on your flyer, but I'm going to share it.
Okay. And it might be in your email, but we'll make sure we're spreading the word as well. Just to let you guys know, CL Radio will definitely be in the building. Either Larry or Lady is going to be there, but we'll be in the building. We'll be represented. So make sure you say hello to CL Radio, and just follow them on all social media platforms. And they mentioned it earlier. If you missed it in top of the show, if you want them to come to your city, you have to reach out. You have to connect so they can go through the logistics. But just continue to pray, continue to share. That's one way you can support. I know sometimes it's on your heart and you're like, man, I just want to give a donation towards it, or I just want to do this. One of the things you can do is share. Your audience, your followers, your fans need to know about this. They need to know about the book. So you just sharing is more than enough. God will do the rest. So we love you. We thank you. I'll be back Wednesday. I will be live with Lady Kazee. That's me. Lady actually started a foundation, an organization, and it's in honor of her mother. Her mother is still living, but it's bringing awareness to strokes. And so they have an upcoming walk, and I'll tell you guys all about that. But we're supporting her. And this will be their first official event. So you'll hear more about that on Wednesday. So make sure you tune in. And she'll be live tomorrow, Tuesday. So tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the Lady Kazee That's Me radio broadcast. And listen, if you follow us on social media, NISA has posted the website. She's posted the text information. So everything is already posted there. Just scroll back down on this live feed. And for those of you who are tuned in, just go to the Christina Lockett page, and all of that information is there. Did I miss anything, everybody? No,
we did.
Well, thank you, Joyce. Thank you. Vitel, Dr. Yu. Girl, I'm going to have to tell you off air all the stuff I'm seeing prophetically. God is good. God is good. We love you. Tune back in tomorrow. And remember, you can always listen to CL Radio for some great gospel music. Praise is What I Do by William Murphy. That was good.
Mhm.
That was good. Yeah, y'all definitely gonna have to come back. I already know it. I see it,
Oh, yeah.
and
Coming back.
you know, I could see what when I see, I could help, you know, make some arrangements.
Oh,
Because even at our church, it's in Katy though. It's really big.
okay.
It holds a lot of people.
Okay.
I don't know what's the maximum, but yeah.
Well, with this particular show, we try to keep it on a smaller scale,
Well,
at
we have
least no
spaces.
more than 100.
We got more spaces,
Oh,
so we have like our big,
And we have other
space,
shows that we
and then
do
we got
bigger.
other things, other rooms, and yeah, we got many
Okay,
different
nice.
spaces. Mhm.
Yeah, because with this one, because it is such a
Intimate.
bunch of topics that we have to worry about people having panic attacks or anything. Like, we want to be available for each individual person.
Mhm.
So if anything does happen, we're there for them. So we want everybody to be seen, and that can usually only be done with around 50 to 60 people at a time that I can handle. I want to talk to each person and hear their testimonies and sign their books and all that stuff. So we keep this one small, but we do have other ones that are much bigger too. The Face of Homeless is coming back soon, so that's one that is last time we did it at an arena. So I'm excited about that one. So yeah, some venues will need to be bigger, but with this one, yeah, we try to keep it intimate. But then it's kind of hard to balance because the way y'all are buying tickets right now, it's like, okay, we're gonna have to cut it off at a certain point if it gets to be too many.
And then you might have to do more than one show.
We did that in Birmingham, and that was a lot. But if God says so, then I do it. But I don't even want to do it. But like, but and then it's also like a lot of people will buy tickets just to support, and if they don't show up, then it's like we don't want no empty seats either. So it's really
hard to balance it all.
Yeah, so we just let God, your will be done. We just keep promoting and keep doing the thing, and who's supposed to be there, and who's not, don't be there. It's just always worked out perfectly where the exact amount of seats be, Yeah,
that's good. I'm so excited.
Thank you guys for tuning in behind the scenes. You see Brent's coming.
Oh, that was
Want to shout some folks out before we come off of live. Hey, Dimples, I realized that was you. Thank you for helping me push the book, sweetheart. You are so. I am enough. Thank you for saying that, Vital. Absolutely. I'll look through a few of these comments before we jump off here. Rain want to say hi to y'all. Giovanni's in the house, one of our newest teammates. Did you want to say hi? Come over and say. Oh, well, you were one all over here looking over here. Listen, I need you to tell me the secret to white teeth because your teeth are amazing. And you're gonna need to do TV. You're gonna have to do TV and stuff. So you can't just do radio. So I hope you know this because like the smile, you are beautiful, and your teeth just topping it off. I could not say something about it. Absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to Janita and Scott. I was seeing. Did you see that?
Yeah.
When you said the prophetic thing, I was like, I'm gonna just be quiet. Like, I'm just now really starting to operate in that, but I don't usually say something till somebody else see it, and I'll be like, oh, that was God. I be seeing it, and I'm like, oh Lord, a little bit at a time, baby steps for me, please. I definitely see the TV thing for you. Like,
well, we had a television ministry before the pandemic.
Really?
And actually right before the pandemic hit, we were looking for studio space because the place where we were in, it's a nonprofit organization. And so other people began to know about it. So I didn't like us having the same set as everybody else.
That's true.
I'm like, no.
Yeah, that makes sense. You want
so we started looking and then the pandemic hit and we didn't do it. And so then we just focused on radio. And so the next step is to get a bigger space where we can have our television and radio in the same space, in the same building. So we're looking at doing another year here. June to make 2 years.
Okay.
So we're looking at doing another year here, and then the next space will be TV and radio.
Okay. Yeah. And then we'll be back talking about what's new in 2026.
Yeah, because I really
it's going so fast.
Yeah, it is.
It's not just me. It's everybody.
Yeah. But I really meant what I said on air. Like we have to, as Christians and believers, begin to put what we believe God is saying on the air.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's radio, whether it's television, whether it's movies, all of that. There are even we've talked about it like on Hot Topics. There's some shows that was quote unquote Christian shows or directed by the Christians or the believers, and you was like,
Yeah.
that was a bit much, you know.
Yeah.
But how can we really complain if we're not putting anything out there,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And even if you're the one that says, well, I'm not calling you an actress or a writer or director, but you could support somebody who is.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
if you know somebody that's starting their production company, you could sow into it, or you
Right.
can volunteer or donate your time. I just
Yeah.
feel like God is
Yeah.
shifting it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
even right
That's
now, everybody's talking about American Idol.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Everybody's talking about that, right?
Okay.
And because they've been singing all these gospel songs,
Right.
and it's a big
Oh,
deal
you can see it
because
happening,
that's a major platform, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, the reason why people are not complaining, but they're excited about it, is because they need
They
it.
need it. I was just
It's
saying
because they
this.
need
Boy,
it.
I'm sorry. I'm
What's
glad we still
happening
live behind the scenes.
It's because they need it. Because you know, normally any other time they be like, well, why they singing that? That's not this type of platform. They need to go to Sunday Best or blah, blah, blah. Nobody's complaining really. They're sharing it. They're sharing it.
Yeah.
They're sharing it. Like
likes and stuff.
I'm telling you,
It's all like every time I
It's
scroll, I see a
everywhere.
new video.
Listen,
It's
you
because
cannot
they
avoid
need it.
God. You cannot avoid Jesus right now.
Yeah.
Like He taking over. And look, we was talking about so many different prophetic things that came with this Nine Lives World Tour. So like even the way that with the fire, you see it burning in the background.
Mhm.
We made this before Hollywood sign caught on fire.
Wow.
And God showed me this.
Mhm.
And then when we seen that picture of the Hollywood sign, we looking at each other like, okay, God, have your way. Like this is so much bigger than us. And God is calling everybody from the smallest just got started from the beginning of the vision to the Will Smiths and the Andra Days and the all them people that I know nicer than Tag because she got my list of people that we get. Like God is calling all of us and we got to work together on this because this is huge.
Because this is the hour. Things are happening and people are desperate. They want more. They want more of God. They want to hear more of God. They're tired of the fakeness. They, you know, and even some of that people, God is just shifting things.
That's it.
People that you used to like really look up to or you always heard about, he's pulling up the remnant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And it's happening now. I've seen this, but it didn't really happen when I saw it. But it's happening right now.
Right.
Yeah.
We
Like
living in it.
right now. We're living in it, you know.
Period,
Now
y'all.
moving
Let me
forward.
get off this behind the scenes. We're about to get hyped and keep them in here all night. Thank y'all again for tuning behind the scenes. I'm gonna post the replay so y'all can watch, but I'm gonna also go on. You'll see the flyer. I'm gonna send out the actual link to her show so you can follow and support. Come over here before I come off if you don't mind to just give them all your information real quick before we come off here. And then, but they know behind the scenes they get all kind of views. So they
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for supporting Hytel on CL Radio. CL Radio is based here in the city of Houston, Texas, but you can listen online at www.clradio.live. We have live broadcasts. When we don't have a live show on, it's just great gospel music. All right. Visit my website as well, ChristinaLockett.com.
Hey, there you have it. There you have it. Now I can log off behind the scenes. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and we will see y'all again tomorrow. Whatever happens tomorrow in Houston, Texas, because we're here on the world tour. We're gonna be everywhere. So see y'all later.